Hello friends, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Elise, and this is my mystical bookshelf. And today I have a non-Sarah Dessen book review, which I know, like, halt. The last 4 videos were Sarah Dessen. What's going on? I'll tell you what's going on. I'm slacking, like, severely. So, I am currently reading, like, loosely currently reading. I haven't actually physically read in a while, and I'm so sorry about that, honestly. Like, I've been slacking. But I'm reading Lock and Key at the moment, and I'm on page 59, and there's like 422 pages in this book, so it's gonna take me a minute to read it. And I'm also, like, distracted because I don't know if anybody who follows my channel plays Hello Kitty Island Adventure, but, like, that game just came out, so I've been playing that game a lot too, so that's kind of been cutting into my reading time. So I'm gonna have to be better about that. But yeah, so I've still been listening to audiobooks though at work, so there's that. So I haven't been not reading. I just haven't been, like, physically reading. I've been listening, but not physically reading. But anyway, so today my video is about Wings of Starlight by Allison Saft, and it was narrated by Kathleen McInerney. I think that's how you say her name. But I'm doing this new thing because I don't have the visual, because I'm currently using my phone to record, so I can't show you the audiobook, but I'm going to insert a picture of it. And I'm going to do that either now, or I would have did it a little bit ago. So yeah, the picture thing, I'm going to insert a picture of it. But if you don't know what this book is about, it just came out February 4th of this year, so it's really recent. So pretty proud of myself for getting it and finishing it so quickly, but it was super good. It's about Queen Clarion and Lord Mallory, and they are the fairy king and queen in the Tinkerbell's fairy world land, I guess, in the Disney franchise. So if you don't know who they are, it's about them when they were younger and how they fell in love. And it was really good. It's so good. It's a 5-star book for me, for sure. I have so many thoughts about it, honestly. Like, I know it's only March, and I think it's crazy that it's already March. But I think that book is going to either be my favorite for 2025, or it's going to be in my top 10, because it was really good. It kind of frustrated me a little bit because I literally just finished it before I started recording this, because I only had like an hour left and I didn't want to make my video until I finished it, so I decided to play Hello Kitty Island Adventure while listening to the rest of the book. But the ending kind of frustrated me. So the book itself is about Queen Clarion before she's queen, and it kind of gives us a different perspective on her, because I know in the Tinkerbell movies we don't really know her very well. I mean, I know she's very queenly and regal. She seems super nice in the movies. I know that she really likes Tinkerbell and, like, helps her out a lot. But we didn't really know Clarion as a person or as a fairy. And this book really gives you a perspective on her, and it really shows her personality and how strong and how selfless she is. And it also shows how caring and empathetic she is. It's a really good book. It's a great origin story. It's a great backstory for her. And it's a really great backstory for Lord Mallory too, because I think he was present in Secret of the Wings, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm pretty sure I remember him wearing, like, a cape or something to hide his wings. And I think I always remembered thinking, well, why is he hiding his wings? But we find out in this story, so It's basically about Queen Clarion as a 17-year-old fairy, and she's a princess at this point in her life, and she's being trained by Queen Elvina, who is kind of cold-hearted at first, but she warms up as the story goes on, and you understand where she's coming from at the end, or towards the end of the book. We understand why Elvina is the way she is. I feel like Elvina had like a great character arc. Like, I really didn't like her in the beginning because she seemed very severe towards Clarion, but it was really, you understood her motives towards like almost the end of the book, and looking back you understand why she does what she does, because I feel like she holds Clarion to such high standards, and Clarion she's insecure. When we first meet her, she's kind of like, she doesn't know what to do, she's very unsure of herself, but she's only 17, so it makes sense that she's like so unsure of herself, because who knows what they're doing when they're that young. Like, really nobody. And I'm surprised that she's even a queen at that young, because I think her coronation, maybe she turned 18 and then she had her coronation, but still, that's really young to be a queen. It's kind of young to expect someone to know exactly what they're doing. But so yeah, we go through her inner monologue throughout the most of the story, and the main conflict is there's these nightmare creatures that are overtaking Pixie Hollow, and she has to figure out what's going on, which doesn't have to, but she wants to figure out what's going on. And at first it seems like Elvina's kind of like hiding stuff from her, and she only does it to protect her. Like, I really like Queen Elvina and Clarion's relationship as it progresses through the book, because Elvina says one of the sweetest quotes, I think, and it is that she had never gone to the mainland, because the mainland is where the humans live, and the fairies are the ones that like dictate the seasons in the human world, and Elvina alludes to her thinking of Clarion as her daughter and wanting to protect her and stuff. And she understands why mothers and daughters love each other so much, because that's how she feels towards Clarion. And that made me tear up a little bit. It's like, that was so sweet. Like, Elvina, you have put down your cold-hearted facade, and you finally let the reader see that you weren't doing any of this in malice. You were just trying to protect Clarion from all the harshness of the world, like a parent would do to her daughter. And it was just really nice to know that Elvina was super proud of Clarion towards the end, and that it wasn't all for nothing, because like Clarion is constantly battling with herself and her desires, because she really wants to be a loving queen, and she feels like she can't, or she's not capable of being that kind of queen. And I think her relationship with Milori is what really helps her grow into who she becomes towards the end, because their relationship is really beautiful and breathtaking. Honestly, they start off as friends, and it's such a great way to start out a relationship, is like being friends first and then realizing that maybe you like each other, and then they have this really great moment where they kiss finally, and it is so sweet. I'm gonna have to buy the physical copy of this book, because there's a lot of good quotes in this book, especially from Milori. Like, he's a really great love interest for Clarion, and I'm so happy that she was able to love him so fully, even though in the end they weren't able to be with each other. But that's what frustrates me, honestly, because they could be together, but Clarion is choosing to protect her heart, and I think that isn't exactly noble in this instance, because it's hard for winter fairies and warm fairies to be together, but it's not impossible. Like, Clarion goes to visit Milori many times in the winter season, and she's wearing this big winter coat, and So there's many ways that you can get around it, because I guess if a winter fairy goes to the warm season, their wings will melt. And if a warm fairy goes to the winter season, their wings will freeze and they'll break. But honestly, their relationship is so beautiful and selfless. And my favorite part in the book was when Clarion got hurt and Mallory sacrificed his wings to save her, and that was the sweetest part of their love. It really showed how self-sacrificing Mallory is and how wonderful and sweet that he is. He says a lot of the best lines in this book, and that's why I need a physical copy, because I'm gonna highlight all the lines that I thought were really good. And I think one of the best ones he says is that when Elvina is mad at him because she doesn't understand him, or she's mad at the winter fairies in general, because there's this weird animosity between the warm fairies and the winter fairies, but it's only one-sided, because I think the winter fairies are very nice and warm. Ironically, they're warm and caring people, but the warm fairies don't really understand them because they've never really been with them in the same realm together. But I think Mallory sacrificing himself for Clarion is the best part of the book, because he tells Elvina that she's worth protecting and that she's worth loving and stuff, and it's just so sweet. It made me kind of tear up listening to it. And I'm sure people were thinking, what is she listening to? Because I don't think anybody really knows at work that I'm listening to audiobooks while I'm doing my work. But yeah, it was making me a little emotional when I was listening to it at work on Friday. And then listening to it, the last part of it now, it was making me frustrated, because I feel like Clarion and Mallory could have made it work, but they chose not to. And that was really sad to me, because they have this really brilliant love story. And one quote that I thought was interesting from Clarion is she's asking herself whether it's worse to mourn or worse to yearn. And I'm thinking in my head, I think it's worse to yearn, because when you're yearning for something, you're yearning for something that you don't know anything about. You're yearning to go somewhere. You want to go, say you want to go to Paris or something, or France. You know that you want to go there, but you don't know anything about it. So you have all these visions in your head and stuff like that, and it's never really gonna be your reality, because you're not gonna go there. And with mourning, at least with mourning, it's something you've experienced, having a pet. Say you're afraid of, basically, I think Clarion is afraid of loving Mallory as much as she does, but I think it would be worth it to be with him and to cherish their time together rather than think about what could have been. So I think in the long run, it's worse to yearn than it is to mourn. And I wish the ending was different, because I thought maybe someone was going to die in the end, and that's why they couldn't be together, and I would have been more okay with that, because then at least there's a concrete reason why they can't be together, because either Mallory would have had to have been the one who passed away, because Clarion is obviously a pivotal character in the movie series, but I mean, Lord Mallory only appears in one movie, but I think it would be more plausible for him to have passed away and to be that's why they couldn't be together, because he died. But honestly, the reason that they're not together is just because Clarion is afraid, and I think that's really cowardly, and that kind of made me not like her as much. But I still really do like Clarion. I like her character. She's very strong in certain points of the book. When she's fighting off the Nightmare Dragon, that was a really badass part. I was really proud of her for doing that and for sticking up for Pixie Hollow. But I think it was very cowardly for her to not be with Mallory because she's afraid of losing him. Because I guess in this fairy realm, queen fairies live for a very long time. They almost live forever, it seems. And they only live forever until a new queen is born from a star. So now that Clarion was born, I guess it was revealed that Alvina was going to pass away and go back to the stars, which is also really sad. But I guess that would be the fate for Clarion too. Like, Clarion's going to live a really, really long life until a new queen comes along, and then she's going to pass away. But I guess other fairies, they can pass away at any moment. Like, they don't live forever like normal, like the queens do, which is weird. I think that's a really weird concept in the book. But yeah, so she was just like afraid of like losing him, and she thought she couldn't handle the heartbreak and the pain. But I think she can. I really think she could handle it, handle being together with him. But I feel like Mallory and her, they do have a relationship ongoing, because in the end, Mallory tells her that even if we can't be together physically, I'm still going to love you, and I'm still going to be with you, like spiritually, or in spirit. And it ends with Clarion like looking out in the distance at the winter land, and I just felt this immense sadness for her, because I feel like the ending could have been so much better if she would have just put down her fears and decided to be with Mallory anyway, because they can be together physically. She just has to put on like winter gear. Like, she wears this big puffy coat to cover her wings that one of her friends made. And that's another point in the story too, is Mallory, we learn about Clarion and her friends, and Clarion's best friend is Petra, and Petra is a tinker fairy like Tinkerbell. And then we also learn about Artemis, who is a scout fairy, I think, or she's gifted with the power to protect other fairies. So like, she's a guard to Clarion basically. And the other side part in the story is that Petra and Artemis have this relationship, but they don't really fully realize it until the end. So they are constantly pining for each other. That's the side plot, is Petra and Artemis are pining for each other, and then Clarion and Mallory are falling in love. That's the main story. And it's sad to me that Petra and Artemis are allowed to be together in the end, because they end up kissing, and it's presumed that they're going to have a happy relationship together. But it's sad to me that Clarion and Mallory don't get that chance, and I really don't understand why. Because you see this beautiful relationship unfold, and you know that they really love each other, and that it's the most highest sacrifice, with Mallory basically giving his life to Clarion to save her. And it really shows the powerful relationship that they have, but they're not allowed to be together by some weird standard, because Clarion presumably is going to live far longer than Lord Mallory, but I don't think that makes any sense. I think they should be together. I don't care. Like, who cares if Clarion's going to live longer than him? It makes me think of that quote, I think it's from Shakespeare. It's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. And Clarion is going to live with that pain for the rest of her life, and I think it's not fair. Honestly, it's really not fair. And this is my second time recording this video, because the first time I recorded it, my phone storage was being weird, so I wasn't able to recover the video. So this is like my second take, essentially, which is also frustrating, because I had said a lot of thoughts in that first video, and I didn't know the ending yet, because I was just going to put this video out without finishing the book, because I was just so excited about it. But now that I finished it, I feel kind of deflated about it, because I'm so disappointed. Like, honestly, I feel like I'm gonna cry. I really wish that Clarion and Mallory were together. It's not fair that the standard is so messed up. It's like if one couple is allowed to be together, this other couple should be allowed to be together too. And I feel like they're trying to follow the movie a little bit, because I know they're not together in the movie, but who cares? Like, I know this is Disney, but, and I know it's kind of like, it feels like a continuation of the movies a little bit, or it feels like it's leading up to the movies. That's what this book feels like. But I really think they should have gone against the grain and let Mallory and Clarion be together, and then maybe have a sequel of like how they deal with their relationship, and how, because now it's like nobody can visit the winter fairies. And I think in The Secret of the Wings, Tinkerbell goes to visit the winter fairies because she has a sister named Perry, because they were born from the same laugh. I'm gonna have to rewatch these movies because I really do love Tinkerbell. She's one of my favorite Disney characters. And I love that they gave her her own movie franchise because it's so cute. They're such wholesome movies. And I really hope that Allison Saft makes more books like this, because this was a 5-star book for sure, even if I am disappointed in the ending and I feel like almost heavy-hearted about how it ended. I still really enjoyed reading it, and I enjoyed watching Clarion and Mallory like form their relationship together, because they are one of the best couples that I have seen depicted in a romance novel in a long time. Like, I see all these other books on like Instagram, or like people that talk about book talk and stuff, and I feel like they don't even hold a candle to this relationship that Queen Clarion and Lord Mallory cultivated. And it's just really beautiful to see them like emotionally connect, and it's not so much the physical aspect of the relationship that you're focused on. It's the emotional and spiritual and mental connection that they have together. And that's what I really, really enjoyed about it the most. It's like, yeah, they kiss, but that's not like the main point. The main point is that they grew to love each other. They really understood each other in the end, and they really brought out the best in each other. And that's what I want from a romance novel. Like, I don't want just a physical connection between the characters. Like, they have great chemistry, which is cool, good for them. But like, I want that real spiritual connection between two people. And that's what I really think Allison Saft did the best. Like, her writing was beautiful. She did great descriptions of winter. Like, winter's my favorite season, and hearing it described the way that Allison describes it, it's just so beautiful. And I'm sorry, I feel like I'm getting really emotional about it, but it's so beautiful to hear winter talked about in such a good light, because it really fosters, like, winter fosters such warm feelings. And yeah, there can be loss, and winter can be a hard time, like, emotionally for people, but winter is some of my best memories. Like, for me personally, I have some of my best memories during winter, like during Christmas with my family. And it's just so nice to hear winter represented in such a really warm and caring way, because that was like some of the best descriptions I've ever heard. And all the winter fairies were really beautiful people, and they were not like the most prominent part of the story, but they really made the story warm and inviting. And I hope that we get more books from Allison Saft, because she really hit a home run with this one. Like, it was so beautiful. I really want more stories involving the winter fairies, because the way that they were described and the way that she made all of the seasons like integral parts of the story was really awesome. Like, I want a book for every season. Like, I want a book dealing with summer. I want a book dealing with spring. I want a book dealing with autumn. And I want a book dealing with all winter, like a winter fairy. Like, maybe they can make a book about Perry, or like how her origin story is, because I know that Secret of the Wings I don't know if it goes that in depth with Perry necessarily in her story, but I would love, love, love to see that. And I would also love to see the other seasons get their time to shine, because really, Allison wrote all of the seasons like they were people, like they were characters in the story. Like you could feel the summer sun when you were listening to it, or you could feel the crispness of the autumn air, and you could hear the crunching of the leaves in your mind. And you could feel the newness of spring, and you could smell the flowers growing and blooming. And it was so beautiful. I feel like I can't say enough good things about this book. And I really recommend reading it. Like, if you love Disney and you love fairies and you love great writing, like, this is the book for you. This is a 5-star for me, and I'm so happy that I was able to listen to it. And I really want to find the physical copy of it, because I would love to actually read it too. Like, read it while listening to music. That's something that I really like to do. I like to listen to music while I read books, because I feel like it helps me get a greater perspective. Like, I make my own soundtrack in my head. So it'd be interesting to like curate a playlist for this book, because there's some Taylor Swift songs that I think would fit perfectly with Wings of Starlight. And oh my gosh, before I finish, because this is kind of one of my longer videos, but one song that really comes to mind is LOML. And if anyone's a Swiftie who follows me, you know that song is like heartbreaking. And I think it's such a beautiful song to pair with Clarion and Mallory, because it's really, they're the loss of each other's lives. They really are. And it's so sad. And it's so beautiful. And it breaks my heart again and again and again. But I can't recommend this book enough. And I really hope to see more from Allison Saft, because this was a really good home run for her first novel. Like, I'm really proud that she wrote this. I'm proud for her. And I'm just so happy about it. I really am. Even if it disappointed me like this tiniest bit. But yeah, so thank you for sticking with me for this long video. I just have lots of thoughts about this. And if you want to comment down below and let me know if you read it, or if you want to read it, or if you want to talk about Tinkerbell, or if you want to talk about her movies, let me know anything in the comments we want to talk about. And I'm also taking suggestions for videos that I could make, because I would like to expand my reading genre, and I would also like to, maybe if you want to talk about movies, I can review movies or TV shows that you guys like. Or I can do video games too. Like, I want to try and make a video for Hello Kitty Island Adventure at some point. But if anybody's interested in that, just let me know. And I'm always open to suggestions. But thank you for your support. Thank you for liking my videos. And thank you to those who do comment on my videos. I really appreciate it. I would love to cultivate a better friendship with all my subscribers, because it really feels like I'm talking to my best friends when I make these videos. And it is really fulfilling. And I'm really happy that I decided to make a YouTube channel. So thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, friends!